Mindful Life Practice community.
So let's start our yin yoga practice today down on our backs. And if you have a pillow handy, we'll use a pillow or a bolster during this practice. And then we'll also use a yoga block. And if you don't have a yoga block, just like a book, something with a hard edge would be great. You can bring your soles of feet together and then just lay your spine down, resting a palm on your belly and a palm on your heart. Close the eyes. And allow your whole body to drop into this shape. Dropping into stillness and dropping into your center. Starting to focus on and find and feel your breath. So in our yin practice, we hold the poses for a long period of time. And the intention being to get into some deep tissue stretches, release tension from the body. And to leave here feeling totally restored and renewed. So our intention tonight is Saucha, which is the first of the niyamas. And Saucha directly translates to purity, to being clean. And that can be translated and interpreted in many ways. Right? We want to be physically clean and clean when we show up for our practice, but I think it's also housekeeping of our spaces and housekeeping of our minds. Like any of the Yoga Sutras, it is open to your interpretation. What does that mean for me? How can I embody this in my life? Can you take a few more breaths in this butterfly? Breathing into your heart space. And then we're going to bring our knees into close. And just roll our body off of that pillow, bringing our body back down onto the mat, and grab hold of your block or your book. And you're just gonna place that block or book at an angle until it kind of hits the edge of the back base of your skull. And then just rock your head side to side until you find some sweet spots. And then just allow it to release. So I think the yin practice in general is kind of a cleansing practice in itself, because it just releases tension and releases stuff that's stuck inside of us. Maybe just doing this for a couple more breaths. And then just releasing that block from underneath the head and coming all the way back down for a moment. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated shape. And you can choose whether you are crisscross or whether you are up on the knees for this, maybe even with your toes tucked under if you want a little bit of a stretch through the soles of the feet, but that is an option, up to you. You could also choose to just stay crisscross. And we're going to do a little bit of shoulder opening. So we're going to open our arms into cactus arms and then take the right arm underneath the left. And you can weave the hands together, high-fiving them, or you might place your palms onto opposite shoulders. Knowing that we are going to be here for 3 minutes. So let it be sustainable. So I'll never forget when this concept of Saucha was first introduced to me. I was really young, really new at yoga, maybe had just been doing it for a few weeks. And a yoga teacher talked about Saucha, and she said, you know, you always need your feet to be clean when you showed up for yoga. And I remember just feeling so self-conscious because it was like the middle of summer and I had been, you know, wearing my Birkenstock sandals. And so my feet just looked like summer feet, you know, with dust and dirt and the like. And I remember feeling so self-conscious during that practice because I felt like there was something wrong with the way I had shown up. And so I would never introduce that concept and say that, you know, there's a right or wrong way to embody it or practice it. Because I think it's up to us as individuals, how we live and experience this niyama. I mean, one thing that I've found since I've been working from home is that it was a totally different experience when I took the time to get up and get dressed in work outfits and wear makeup. I felt like I accomplished more when I got ready for the day. And maybe that's a practice of Saucha. And then for other people that wouldn't resonate as at all, as makeup is not part of their daily routine. That's why I think it's so important to teach these things as so open to interpretation. It's like an inquiry journey into finding what is right for you. We're going to hold this for 5 more breaths. You got it. You can do it. And then let's unravel the arms. And if you have the toes tucked under, you're going to lift off and then just pedal them out. And then we're going to take it the opposite way. If you want to keep your toes tucked under, go for it. Or if you want to switch up what you're doing with your feet, I think I'm going to keep my feet flat for this time. Open your arms and then weave the opposite arm under. So it should be the left arm under if you did the same one as me last time. And then again, either high-fiving the hands together or gripping opposite shoulders. So what are some ways that one could embody Saucha? I mean, I know that when I was drinking a lot, my apartment was never clean. And it was just waking up in the morning with, takeaway containers or leftover wine glasses or bottle of wine. And when your apartment is a mess, it kind of impacts how you feel as well. What about the Saucha or the purity or the cleanliness in our thoughts? I know that when I was growing up, I had a tendency to gossip. And when I started practicing yoga, I tried as hard as I could to hold myself back from that. And it's not because it harms anyone else, but it's because it harmed myself. It made me not feel good. Cleaning up the way we think about, we talk about our experiences and other people. Take another breath. And then let's just unwind the arms. Maybe rocking from side to side, stretching that out. And then let's place our palms in front of us and just lift our knees up for a moment. So we're stretching through the fronts of the shins. Fronts of the ankles. then come forward into another seated shape. I'm going to take crisscross and grab hold of my pillow and just be propped up on the pillow. And now what you're going to do with the arms is interlace the palms behind the back and then place those interlaced palms on the right hip and then drop your right earlobe down towards your right shoulder. So this is going to create a different angle of stretch through the traps muscle. And I've taught this before in other ways. So if there's another variation you prefer to take, like the right hand on the side of the skull, feel free to go for it. Sometimes I find that different ways of entering and experiencing poses can just open us up to a different experience. Roald Dahl, he has this quote. He says, if you think good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams, and you will always look lovely. Can you take one more breath? And then we're going to unwind and then just take it the other way. So land your hands on your left hip, drop your left earlobe towards your left shoulder, and then stretch through the right traps muscle. I always find that it feels like the weight of my day and my week and my life lands in this muscle. And it's a very healing release for me. Might be a different experience for you in your body. Part of your practice is kind of about exploring that. Can you just take another breath where you are? And then bring your head all the way up. We'll just do one final little short twist before we drop into a final resting pose. So coming all the way onto your back, keeping your right leg long, just pull your left knee in. And then just start to peel your left knee over to the right, opening up through the left arm, gazing over the left shoulder. Just letting all of the spinal discs compress and release tension, release stress. And then bring your left knee all the way up. And then can we switch it out? So just pulling your right knee in, extending through your left leg, and then pull your right knee over towards the left and open the right arm, gazing over the right shoulder. Let's just gently unwind through the right leg. And then extend both legs out on the mat. Placing one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly, just like we started our practice with. Letting this last shape be a container for the last moment or two. And know that I'm going to bring you back in a moment when the time is up. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Give your fingers and toes a little wiggle wobble. Taking a nice long stretch. Fingers all the way through toes. Taking your knees into your chest, giving your body a sweet little hug. And then just making your way up to a seated shape with your palms at your heart center. Letting your thumbs connect to your heartbeat and just lengthening through the spine and softening the shoulders. Closing with the intention that our practice remains steady and our efforts continuous, and that our yoga serves and benefits not just us, but all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy, be free. May the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So we're going to finish with an Om sound, taking a big breath in, and then a big breath out, and then a big breath in. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing the space and the practice. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me.